From the first experimental scout vehicles of the early 20th century to the high-tech marvels of today, we're about to explore every Japanese tank ever built. Join us as we trace the incredible evolution of their armored fighting vehicles through history. Our journey begins in the interwar period, from 1919 to 1938, a time of rapid innovation and experimentation. Japan's first domestically developed tank was the Type 87 Chi. Introduced in 1927, this machine marked a massive milestone for Japanese industry and laid the groundwork for all the Imperial Japanese armored designs that would follow. Next came the Type 89 Igo, a truly groundbreaking vehicle. It became the world's first mass-produced diesel-powered tank, a remarkable technological feat for the era. The Type 89 saw extensive combat in Manchuria during the 1930s, where its advanced engine proved its worth. As tactics evolved, so did tank designs. The Type 90 cavalry tank was built specifically for speed and reconnaissance. Designed to support fast-moving cavalry units, it prioritized mobility over heavy armor protection, zipping across the battlefield to gather intelligence. Then there was the Type 90 for Tankette, a tiny and simple vehicle that looked almost like a toy. Despite its small size, it played a crucial role, used mainly for reconnaissance and for hauling supplies across difficult, muddy terrain where larger vehicles would get stuck. The Type 95 Hago quickly became the backbone of Japan's mobile forces in the 1930s. It was fast, agile, and performed brilliantly during early campaigns like the Blitz through Malaya. However, its thin armor and small gun meant it struggled badly against heavier Allied tanks that appeared later in the war. Arguably Japan's most iconic medium tank was the Type 97 Chi-Ha. It was widely used across China and the Pacific Theater. While its low-velocity gun was effective for supporting infantry, it simply lacked the power to penetrate the armor of enemy tanks, a critical weakness that would prove costly. Learning from earlier designs, the Type 97 Tankette was a refined evolution of the Tankette concept. By relocating the engine to the rear, designers created more space for the crew, improving ergonomics and overall operating comfort. Japan also dabbled with heavy tanks. The Type 91 Heavy was a monstrous, multi-turreted design that looked incredibly intimidating. Unfortunately, it was already obsolete before testing even concluded. The Type 95 Heavy improved slightly on this concept, but only a handful were ever built as Japan's military doctrine shifted its focus toward lighter, more mobile vehicles. Competition for the main medium tank role was fierce. The Type 97 Chi-NI was developed as a cheaper and lighter alternative to the Chi-Ha. However, it ultimately lost out during trials due to its inferior overall performance, and the Chi-Ha was chosen for mass production instead. Before the war fully erupted, Japan was still experimenting. The Type 98 Chi-Ho was a prototype designed to improve upon the standard medium tank. It tested new and innovative suspension systems that would later influence the designs of future tanks. Moving into the Second World War, from 1939 to 1945, the battlefield demanded rapid evolution. The Type 97 Shinhodo Chi-Ha was a crucial upgrade, featuring a new, high-velocity 47mm gun. This change was a direct response to the increasingly thick armor of American tanks and saw desperate combat in late-war engagements. The Type 1 Chi-He represented a further evolution of the medium tank concept. It offered improved armor protection and a more powerful engine designed to better match the demands of the modern battlefield and contend with newer Allied designs. In another experimental effort, the Type 1 Chi-NI was designed with a focus on cost efficiency and ease of mass production. It sacrificed some armor and firepower in order to reduce manufacturing complexity and conserve scarce resources, but it never went into full production. As the war progressed, the need for a true Sherman killer became urgent. The Type 3 Chi-Nu was developed specifically to counter American M for Sherman tanks. Armed with a powerful 75mm gun, it was a formidable vehicle. However, these tanks were held in Japan for the anticipated final defense of the homeland and never saw combat. An even more sophisticated late-war design was the Type 4 Chi-2, intended to turn the tide of the conflict. It was a powerful tank for its time, but its development came too late. Only two were completed by 1945, and they never reached the battlefield. Perhaps the most ambitious project was the Type 5 Chiri. This advanced medium tank featured an experimental semi-automatic loader for its main gun, a feature far ahead of its time. Despite its impressive firepower, it remained a prototype when the war ended. Japan also continued developing its light tank line. The Type 98 Kan-I featured a lower profile and improved suspension, which enhanced its mobility and cross-country performance. The Type Takeda further improved the light tank lineage with a stronger engine and a better gun, all while retaining the agility that made these vehicles so useful for reconnaissance. Next, the Type 3 Carry was an attempt to give light tanks greater firepower by mounting a larger gun. Unfortunately, the cramped turret made it difficult for the crew to operate effectively, limiting its overall combat potential. As a quick-fix solution to boost frontline firepower, the Type 4 Kennu was created. This unique hybrid combined a standard light tank chassis with a surplus medium tank turret, a clever way to get more capable guns to the front lines quickly. The final light tank effort of the war was the Type 5 Kaho. This was a well-balanced and promising design with respectable armor and armament for its size. Like so many other late-war projects, however, it never entered mass production. Japan also explored specialized vehicle roles. The Type 98 Toyosi was an early self-propelled anti-aircraft gun built on a light tank chassis designed to protect armored columns from air attack. Then there was the legendary OI Super Heavy tank. This beast was a true land battleship, weighing an estimated 150 tons. It was designed as a mobile fortress to defend the home islands, featuring multiple turrets and extremely thick armor. The project was shrouded in secrecy, and its ultimate fate remains a mystery. Amphibious warfare in the Pacific led to some of the most unique designs. The Type Takami was an amphibious tank that used large, detachable pontoons to float. It saw service during several Pacific Island campaigns, including the fierce fighting on Saipan. The massive Type 3 Ka-Chi, based on the Chihi chassis, was even more ambitious. It was designed for long-range naval landings and open-sea operations, essentially a tank that could double as a landing craft. The ultimate expression of this concept was the Type 5 Tuku. This powerful amphibious tank prototype was a final evolution of the design, but it never reached deployment before the war's conclusion. After the war, Japan began the slow process of rebuilding its armored forces. The STA-1, developed in the mid-1950s, was Japan's first post-war tank prototype, and it was heavily influenced by American designs of the period. Following this, the STA-2 and STA-3 models were largely similar in layout, testing different components. The STA-4 was the final prototype in the series, refining the engine and transmission systems to improve reliability and performance. This development program culminated in the Type 61, Japan's first post-war production tank, which entered service in 1961. It was specifically designed to be light and compact enough to navigate Japan's narrow roads and bridges, and it was armed with a powerful 90mm rifled gun. Entering the late Cold War, from 1971 to 1991, Japanese tank technology took a massive leap forward. The STB-1 was a cutting-edge prototype from the 1960s that featured an advanced hydropneumatic suspension. This system allowed the tank to tilt its hull, enabling it to fire from behind cover while exposing a minimal target. After further testing with prototypes like the STB-5, the final design was validated. That design became the iconic Type 74, which served as the mainstay of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force for decades. Its signature adjustable suspension allowed it to kneel and hide its hull behind hills, a tactic known as being hull down. As the Cold War neared its end, the Type 90 main battle tank was introduced in the 1990s. This was a world-class machine, equipped with a smoothbore 120mm gun and a rapid-fire autoloader. At the time of its debut, Many experts considered it to be one of the best tanks in the world. Finally, we arrive in the modern era. From 1992 to the present, development continued with the TKX, a testbed from the 2000s that pioneered modular ceramic composite armor and advanced digital networking capabilities. This research led directly to the Type 10, Japan's most advanced main battle tank, which entered service in 2012. It features modular armor that can be adapted for different threat levels, cutting-edge electronics, and advanced battlefield networking. Despite its power, it remains lightweight, extremely fast, and highly maneuverable, making it a devastatingly effective weapon on the modern battlefield. From the early Chi to the incredible Type 10, the history of Japanese tanks is a story of constant innovation and adaptation. Thanks for joining us on this journey through armored history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into military technology.